Good morning, Facebook. I'm Jill Malandrino with the Voice of America, and this is NASDAQ's Facebook Live. All the way from Seattle, Washington, we have Jeff Colon. He is the author of Disruptive Marketing, and the context of the book is how hackers and data punks can actually teach us something new when it comes to navigating the new normal. I love the name of the book. I love the concept behind it. Give us a little bit of your background and the genesis behind disruptive marketing.
Sure. So if we look at the world now, technology has obviously changed a lot of industries, including marketing. And we can't just look at how we do things the same old ways, where we went out with large campaigns and tried to, co-opt narrative thinking, so to speak. Now, marketing has really moved into sort of this small batch world where we test our messages, small batch testing on people, and actually see how they react to them. And Robert Shiller actually talked about this. He's a professor at Yale in terms of narrative economics. How do we get people to think a certain way or take action a certain way? And that really applies, I think, to the markets as a whole, where people aren't looking at data, but they're also looking at the narratives and the messages and the leadership and all those, that holistic mix together in terms of how they invest moving forward.
There was an interesting stat in the book that 75% of our time is spent online.
Yes.
That's a huge number.
Huge amount.
Is the customer receiving the message the way marketing is done today?
Probably not. I think we live in this attention economy and we're all very distracted. I mean, if you think about the amount of times, as you said, you pull out a device to check simple things like what the weather might be or what time it is. That's a distraction from the world around you. You might not see other things, might not take in other signals. So a lot of what we're doing in marketing now is really moving away from messaging and trying to get people to experience things. What is the world like around us as a result of this brand, as a result of this company, as a result of this culture? There's no more just, hey, let's put a product out, mark it up 3 times, and then sell it. That's not going to work in this new world because there is an abundance of solutions that are out there, both in the digital and physical worlds. And I think this is where disruptive marketing is actually, what I'm aiming at trying to get people to learn.
Can you give us an example of what that might be, where it's more experiential than it is just being put in your face?
I'll use one that I love to use. Think of Spotify. When Spotify first launched, you could search for music, find something that you liked, and listen to it. Now they curate that experience for you based on your mood. Hey, I'm in the mood to listen to something that's down tempo because it's 10 o'clock at night when I actually log into the app. But in the morning, they're giving me maybe something that's up tempo, knowing that I might go to the gym. And as those systems are synchronized more with digital assistants like a Cortana or Amazon Echo, think of how that will actually change our experiences. It will know where you are and what you're doing based on habits, and then be able to feed you information so it can make your life a little bit more productive.
So it seems like marketers are actually using data more than they're using a subset, for example.
That's right.
So that's kind of what's determining the direction based on our behavior.
That's right. And data can't give you every single answer because it doesn't explain behavior. This is where we need behaviorists in marketing. This is where we need people who have sociology backgrounds and psychology backgrounds. The old way of thinking was, I'll get my Master of Business Administration and I'll be a marketer. The new way of thinking is, I'm going to get a design degree and a sociology degree to understand people, understand how they interact with the systems that are around us, how they interact with technology that's around us. And that's a lot of the work that I actually do at Microsoft in search advertising and search marketing with Bing, is try to understand what motivates people. Why do they search for what they search for? Why do they interact with the specific advertising that we develop for them, et cetera? And that allows us to make better, more unique, more experiential systems, so to speak.
Do you think this is here to stay? Because in this on-demand environment, the trends seem to be shifting every 18 to 24 months. What's next?
We're moving into this post-digital world, this analog world again, because there's almost this overdose of digital now, that people actually want to be around people again. I mean, you think about how we're talking right now. This is not going to go away. Humans are social animals by design. We like to be around other people. Yes, we like to be online, but if you notice, we like to be online commenting with other people because those are other people that we can actually talk to. Now you add in this whole area of bots that's sort of taking over the web. That might be interesting in terms of the fact that you're talking with people, but you're also talking with automated systems. And I don't know how people are going to necessarily react to that right away. I think people at the end of the day enjoy being around other people, and we still sort of like these live events. And analog has really come back and become very massive as a result of this digital overdose.
It's funny, we had this conversation before. We're the same age, and today we would never,
Yes.
we never would have called friends digital peers.
Yes.
We used to hang out in clusters and cliques, and
That's right.
now, how many friends you have on Instagram or Facebook or whatever the social media du jour is, it's digital peer counts
Yes.
that ranks your popularity.
Yes.
And I just find that to be quite amazing. I
It's-
mean, who would have thought 20 years ago?
It's quite interesting, but I still think there's a place for the real world. I mean, we make things happen in the real world, and that's very important for people to understand. We don't, technology is a tool that we can use, but we still live in this physical world.
Right. Well, it's
So-
really interesting because you reached out to me with your book via LinkedIn.
Yes,
which I
right.
think is such a great social
right.
medium. But then here we are establishing this. You will never, ever replace face-to-face contact
That's right.
and a handshake.
That's right.
So.
And think of all the invitations you may get on LinkedIn that you're like, I never met this person, in real life. I'm not going to accept that invitation. But you're more likely to accept that invitation if you have met that person, or if there's context. Hey, Jill, this is my name. I'd love to meet you. I'm going to
Right.
be in New York. Can I be on NASDAQ Live? That's when it's very, that's when you can use it to, I think, to, create a bond with other people. And I think that's how we've been using
Right.
networking in this networked economy.
It's interesting going back to teaching and learning. Someone wrote, by the way, the comments section on Amazon was fantastic, so congratulations on that. But someone had wrote their favorite chapter was chapter 12, where you're taught to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Yes. And that's a quote that's actually taken from Alvin Toffler from the book Future Shock, where he said that the illiterate of the 21st century are not those who can't read or write, but they can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. And we're seeing that now. Many of us are going to have a number of different professions in terms of you may do something for a short bit of time, but then you have to learn a new skill in order to do something else, and then unlearn and learn, relearn another skill. And we're going to see that for the next 30 to 40 years. And I think it's going to change the way that we work. It's going to actually change the way that businesses are set up. I think the era of this mass business with lots of employees, we may be seeing an end to that because of the way that we actually integrate with or interact with one another. We might have many more free agents, and I actually mentioned this in the book as well,
Right.
where you have 3 or 4 people that actually operate a company, and everybody else comes in like a film crew, works on a particular project. When they solve that issue, they go off and work somewhere else.
Contractor right here.
Contractor, yep.
We're living it right now. I really think these are fascinating times that we're living in.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us at the NASDAQ market site. We hope to have you back in New York.
Thanks, Jill.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
And thank you, Facebook, for checking us out today. I'm Jill Malandrino with the Voice of America, and this is NASDAQ's Facebook Live.